Hi, this is Naomi with Sword and Steel, and today I am going to do a patron favorite, which is a paint with me. This will be the long version, but I'll also have a short version. So if you wanted just the summary of how I painted this, then by all means, go down to the description and click on that instead. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy this video. All right, so today I am painting a moose. This moose was designed by La Louve, who is a Quebecois content creator, someone from Quebec, Canada, and she makes these lovely sculpts, including this moose. And it was created by me, however, put into reality by me, however, on the Hallett X1 by Pio Create. They gave this one to me and I wanted to let you know about it. It has a couple fairly unique features in that the resin tank is itself quite shallow because it has a siphon system where you put in a bottle of resin to the siphon system and it tubes the resin right into the bed and monitors its level so that you don't have to, and it will refill the resin to keep it full all the way through its printing. So that's one feature that is pretty unique to this printer. And the other feature is that rather than scraping off the build plate to take your models off the build plate, you instead twist the handles of the build plate and the models will come off on their own. Now, you do need a very, relatively speaking, thick bottom layer on your printer settings to be 10 layers thick or more. And in that way, it'll come off easily rather than leaving little pieces that you are then going to have to scrape off manually, kind of negating the idea of having something to avoid scraping off your pieces. It also has a heated bed. So those are the three things that I like about the Hallett. So with that, I made this moose. La Louve's moose, her supported versions. La Louve is actually great at supporting her models. But despite that, I decided for this particular moose, since I'm going to be giving it, it's a commission for someone's birthday gift. I decided rather than having it in two pieces, I would, here it is, this is so nice. There it is. Yeah. I actually haven't heard moose talk very much at all. In all my instances of moose, they've been silent. But hey, and anyway, despite that one work coming out just fine, I actually created another moose, which is the one that I primed for today, where his feet and base are one piece. And I then, of course, had to support it myself because it's his feet and a base are one piece. So this is the one I'm going to be working with. And this fellow was primed with, first he was primed with, I think it was an Army Painter Gray. And then I finished off the priming with a Vallejo Mecha gray primer through the airbrush because I like to start off with spray primer just to get it on there because spray primer sticks so well. And then I just finish off the more detailed, closer priming with the airbrush because I can. That's why. So that's him. Now, I also have a palette. I'm just trying it out because these work really nicely, and I got these. No, I'm not doing that. But these work really nicely as a dry palette, and I'm going to be basically using just speed paints and contrasts and quick gens and all of that liquid paint, so I don't really need a wet palette, I would say, and I'm just testing out this little fidget device. I don't even know what it's called. Fidget poppet thingy. because I was able to get them in as for the retail store. And I've got my water, and I've got the potential colors that I'm going to need for my mousse and the ground. And I've got some gamer's grass flocking, and Gamer's Grass gave me this because they've got new stuff. I absolutely adore Gamer's Grass for getting all of my flocking stuff, because they're great and they're a great company to work with. So we'll open that up shortly. And I think I have everything that I need to get started, and I'll just go and get it as we paint. I have my brush, my favorite brush that doesn't exist anymore. But this is Da Vinci Miniature Maestro Series 70, size 3, which would be the closest match to this one. So I guess I'll use this one, so that if you want to get a brush that basically matches my favorite one, which doesn't exist anymore, you could get that. And I should be able to use this size 3 for every single detail down to the little eyeballs. So this guy is a commission, like I said, but I can't spend too long on him because it's just supposed to be a quick commission. And if I spend too long on him, that would not be feasible. Okay, so first color we're going to add is Brigadine Brown. That's just going on his base, and I want his base dry so I can fool around with it later. It was my first time opening this. What was it? Stuck. This is War Paints Fanatic Brigadine Brown by the Army Painter. Yeah, first time shaking it. Probably should have shaken it for longer. The Army Painter now has 2 agitators, mellow agitators, their own agitators, in every single bottle of the various paints that they have, which I very much appreciate. I want all of the paint companies to do that. Thank you, Army Painter, for thinking about the fact that everyone's going to need it anyway. Let's put it right there. There we go. Should be enough. And I guess I should take clean it up so I don't regret it later. Alrighty. Just want to get the base out of the way so I can play around with it later. When you are painting, oh right, right. My outfit, this is what a fellow would wear if he's gone on a moose hunt. Or some more buff ladies than I. If you can't carry a quarter moose out of the bog, then you probably shouldn't be moose hunting. But yeah, toque, plaid shirt. It seems like everyone needs the plaid shirt. It's necessary. A bit of camo, and a undershirt, and probably some nice fluffy socks. Some nice fluffy socks. All right. Now I'm actually getting a little warm, so I'm gonna take that off. Because I have it nice and warm in here, and I've got a toque on. Okay. So always make certain that your brush is damp before you put on your paintbrush. Put paint on your paintbrush. And I don't know yet if I want to paint all the way down to the base this brown. So I think I'm going to paint it black. I'm going to put a little black base at the end of it. Yeah, I suppose I could just paint it brown as well, but so I'm going to make him as realistic as possible without spending too much time at it. One thing about commissions is you have to be for me anyway, is that I give them basically options to go with like the most detailed. Do you want to look like the moose is coming right off of his little base? He's going to walk around. Do you want to be that detailed? Do you want to be it to be done as cheaply as possible? And he asked for basically somewhere in between. So, because the person who he's giving it to is not necessarily a miniature painter, and maybe this moose will end up broken. It's okay. It's okay, moose. It's the thought that counts. Maybe you'll make it. Maybe you'll be proud on a mantelpiece somewhere. I don't know why I'm taking the time to be careful around the edge here when I really don't need to, because I'm going to be painting over the edge with black. And I also don't know why I'm being careful around his little feet, because his feet are pretty dark as well. Maybe that's why I was being careful. So if I dropped him in my hand, I wouldn't get paint all over myself. Brigadine brown. Can you see? I'm doing it like in the video, right? Hopefully. I'm left-handed, so you should be able to see, right? Eh? Paying too close attention to my moose. I'm so terrible at keeping things visual. You'll tell me if you can't see it right. It's very simple though. I'm just putting this brown right onto this base. It's so simple. You may just want to skip ahead until I'm done. Maybe you already have. Maybe I'm talking to myself at this point. But if I'm not, look at how nice this brown covers in one coat. One coat. The AK Fanatics, the Army Painter Fanatics, just like AK, for the most part, are really good at covering in one coat. I really like that. And if you've ever worked with Army Painter in the past, you may be like, ugh, for their war paints, which were harder to use unless you were doing not airbrushing, dry brushing. But their new formula for their AK Interactives is beautiful, and I would call it comparable to AK Interactive. And they also have agitators in every bottle. So I think their white is just not quite there, but almost there. Right, I've been trying out Pro Acryl, and their white that I hear so much about is not as good as the AK Interactive's 3rd gen white. So there you go. And I guess comparable to the Army Painter matte white in the Fanatic range. So consider giving them a shot. All right, that's that. Now I can put that down. So yeah, I'm going to be putting it like because moose go through bogs all the time. So I want to use this puddles, which I've used in a previous video, and I want to use some boggy stuff. So kind of wet-ish in places. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay. So that's that. Now, the actual colors for the fur, we're going to be doing some wet blending because moose is feet are darker, and then they go and then they go up to being light on the legs and then darker in the bottom part of the body, and then kind of approaching light again as we get up to the top and on the head. And then the younger antlers are all covered in fur, so it's basically fur covered. But the older moose, which is what this guy is based on the size of his antlers, the older moose have more bone color antlers, which is why we're going to go with Bone Brown by AK. It's a quick gen. And we're going to put that over his antlers before anything else, because I'm still contemplating exactly what colors I want to use on the fur. So I'm stalling and doing the antlers first. Yep. That's what I'm doing. I'm excited to paint his tiny little eyes. So they have like basically black eyes, but there's brown when you look at it really close, and their irises are so big that it'd have to be a very scared moose to see any of the whites of their eyes. We're not going for a scared moose. He doesn't look scared, does he? Does he look? No, he doesn't look scared. He looks like he's looking for some food. All right. So I think I'm actually gonna need more than that. I don't want to run out. So for quick gen, speed paints, contrast paints, express paints, whatever you want to call it, you want to load a load in your brush and not leave a load on the miniature, but you start with a load in your brush so that you can control where it's going. And there's such a big surface area that I'm controlling that I have a load in my brush. And do I like that color just as is? Yeah, I feel like I do, but I might. No, I think I like it. I think I like this, but I gotta be careful not to let it pool, because that would be unnatural. I think I like that. It was the right choice. But before it dries, gotta go over to the other side. Coming to the other side. And do the same, because you only have a few seconds before it starts drying. And can you see it? Maybe. And you don't want to be fooling around with it while it's drying, because that'll ruin the effect. Look at all that glorious texture that Le Louvre had in there. So now we want to clear out our brush and pull any of the excess out, because I don't want any pooling whatsoever. That would not look natural. So you're going to just have to monitor it for a little bit, because we don't want any pooling beyond what I've already allowed to happen. And if you're not certain you can do that in the one coat, just do a thinner coat with medium. And just do more than one layer. Now, it doesn't matter if I get too much flowing down there, that's fine. It's just I want to make certain there's no pooling whatsoever. I want it to look exactly right, so that all of the little details come through. Be very gentle too. Don't want to pull off your paint. Just want to pull off the excess. You want it to look exactly exactly as you want it to look dry before you stop fooling around with it. But you have only seconds. And I think that's good. And if it's not good, it's too bad for me because I'm out of time. I say that and I'm still picking at it. Don't do it. Don't pick at it. It'll be fine. You can always paint it again. Okay, there we go. Ta-da! Ta-da! And you want to watch me do the second antler deer? I mean, maybe you do. Maybe you want to know, was that a fluke or is it that easy to do? You know why it looks so good without any effort? Because of the texture and the model itself. That's why it looks so good. So that's La Louvre. I'm just taking advantage of her work. Oh, and La Louvre has her own YouTube channel. She doesn't know I'm sending you over there. So if you do go over there, you say, hi, it's from Naomi at Sword and Steel. She loves all your miniatures. And her videos are in French because she's, again, Quebecois. But I assume that there's an option for subtitles. I'm practicing my French. So I try to listen to her without the subtitles. And I mostly got the gist. I'm really good at reading French, but I'm not that good at understanding spoken French. But it's a great way to practice. I'm gonna share this video with her so she'll be able to watch it too. That's great. Maybe use my mousse for her videos. Or for pictures on her page. Oh, she likes to use the I guess it's the slap chop, as they call it these days, method. Okay, I got it all. So if you like that method, you'd be able to see her do that. I don't really use that method much at all. Maybe, I guess you could, maybe on terrain, but I like to do my shadows over the base color, not under. So I'm a little different. Just taking away the excess so it looks natural. Did I miss any? Nope. Good. Down just like that. That is a great thing about these speed paints. Yes, you could do. I just realized that I had pink on me. It's from my nails because I just did carmine red from Bio and something. Anyway, you can do the classic method of painting where you take the base color and then do the shadows and then do the highlights, or you could just do this. The trick, though, is that the paint doesn't necessarily show what it's going to do until you actually use it. But think of it as a Christmas present every time you buy one. Who knows how it's going to turn out? Or you could look at all my videos showcasing every single one of them except for the second wave of Vallejo Express paints, which I'm going to do at some point. I really want to try the true metal colors that are coming out. Bio, if you're listening to me, I'd love to try your colors. I'm excited. Bio is still the best amongst the big guys for metal colors, so I'm excited about the metal colors. Okay. What next? This down here is mostly dry, just a tiny bit tacky. I'm not going to fool around with it because I don't know how strong that layer of one single layer is, and I don't want to accidentally pull it off. Not that it would matter that much because I could just, you know, cover it up with some blocking. Is that too dark of a boggy color? Nah, it's fine. It's fine. It'll be fine. Okay, no longer time to stalling. There's nothing else to paint except for him. I've forgotten what the toes look like. I think they're just the same color as the rest of them. I don't think they're particularly light, and I don't think they're the same color as this. I think they're darker. Maybe I'm gonna put Fire Drake. So I've got Fire Drake Speed Paint by the Army Painter, and I've got Contrast Gilman Flesh to add in a bit of a pinky tone, and I've got Garagax Sewer for the main darkness. Question being, do I go up or do I go down? Why am I worrying about this? I have another moose right here if I fail miserably. It'll be fine, it'll be fine. I like to go down, so I'm going to go down. I like to go down following gravity. You see that? Mm-hmm. I haven't opened this in a while either. I haven't painted in a while. It's been a while. And I've got so many different paints that I could possibly not open one for like a year. I need to fix this. How much am I going to regret just pouring it out? Not at all, I says I. It's very dark. I think it's a perfect mousse color, the Garagax Sewer. I just went through all my little miniatures and was like, what one looks like a moose? And I'm also going to put on Gilman Flesh. Just going to put them down. Submits. Okay, fine. I gotta fix this. I haven't used these in a while. That's enough. Gilman Flesh. Makes it such that I can test out what their colors to remind myself why I chose these colors. And yeah, Gilman Flesh, Garagax Sewer, and Fire Drake, which is like this really nice chocolatey brown. It's the medium of the two colors. Yeah, that's right. So mostly we're gonna start. We're just gonna do lots of wet blending until it looks right. I've seen enough mousse in my time. How could I possibly go wrong? I've seen Newfoundland mousse and BC mousse, British Columbia mousse. That's where I've seen mousse, which look basically identical to me because it's mostly a child. Okay, so this one's the Fire Drake. That is the Garagax Sewer, and that is the Gilman Flesh. So we're going to start right here with the Fire streak. Do you see all of those strokes? Isn't it nice? And this is a little more difficult because it's going to be wet blending on a larger surface area, so I kind of got to move fast. Well, look at all that work put in. Makes it my job so much easier. So easy. All I have to do is let the paint do its work. It's fine. That's why I chose these colors, because they're so pretty. Now, don't get it on the antlers. Okay. Don't get it on the antlers. Now, thankfully, because of all of this texture, if it does happen to dry a little bit as I'm going, it's going to be really unnoticeable, I would think. As long as I don't like put it in a straight line, which I'm not going to do. Little tail, so cute. This looks like a bull moose. Big bull moose. Oh, don't bring it down too far because we want to make it lighter because it lightens up down here. It also kind of lightens up on his face, so I guess I'll make certain the face isn't, not that much though. Fits in over his belly. Actually, his belly, do I have it all done enough? His ears are basically the exact same shade as everything else. So I'll just put his ears on. I think I'm going to make them darker. Yeah, I'm going to make his ears darker. On the inside, I'm going to go more Gilliman flesh. So, okay, I gotta make these decisions fast. Okay, we're going to go Gilliman flesh inside his ears so that they're noticeably lighter and slightly more pink. And just bringing it right to the behind color because we're doing a little bit of wet blending, and I actually think I want it a little bit darker, so I'm actually going to go to the Garagax sewer just on the lighter part. The Garagax sewer on the back part because it's looking lighter since it doesn't have the texture of the rest of them. And okay, I'm probably gonna have to do a couple coats to make it look natural on his ears. I'm gonna really, really overwhelm his little ears with Garagax sewer so it's smooth. Well, so it looks smooth. Here. Yeah. And I think I'll just put more Garagax sewer around the rim of his ears. So just the inner parts of his ears are that pale color. And I think I'll just leave that to dry before I do anything else so that I don't have an overload of Garagax sewer there. And then before this gets too dry, I'm just going to go with the Gilliman flesh on his legs because they're supposed to be paler. And you know what? Maybe it's not quite the right color. Mm. Hmm. Hmm. Let's thin it down. I'm going to thin it down with medium. What color do I want? You know what? Thin it down with medium and a touch of, touch that. Where'd it go? I just had to quickly fix this. Okay, don't touch that. Don't touch him by the ears. Antlers. Okay, but I fixed it. We're good. But you know that's the color I needed. Thanks. I needed bone brown because I just wanted a bit more browniness to it. It makes sense? It's fine? Browniness? Never heard of that before? That makes sense. Because this is just a little bit too pinkish, and I need more browniness. So, you know what? That's what I'm doing. I'm gonna mix the Gilliman flesh with the bone brown, just so I have a little bit more um yellow tone to it. Just a touch though, just a touch. Not too much. And back to the Gilliman because that's a little bit too much. Grab some just medium to lighten it. Can you see? I'll just put that over his whole hoof. And grabbing the excess. And then I don't mind what it looks like on the ground because that's just going to be covered up. And multicolored browns on the ground is natural. But I will stretch it out so it's less obvious. Oops. Battery died on you, but we're back now, okay? Okay, so now we're going to do now we're just going to pick. And you know what? I think the little fur on the bottom is going to be closer. It's just going to be more the fire drake. And, oh, looks like I somehow missed right there. And also more of the Garagax sewer. Just because it's so wet that it's not really picking up the fire drake as much. And just a little bit of touches. So getting kind of just a little bit of touches to kind of mimic the fur that's not really present on his ankle. All right, so shall we do that again? We will add no. All right, so what we did was we started off with fire drake, not fire drake. Whoop. We started off with Gilliman, which I just mixed with fire drake, but that's fine. I got more Gilliman. Woo! I got lots of Gilliman. We started off with Gilliman flesh, and then we went and added bone brown. Oh, I put in bone brown. I don't know what I'm doing. Put in bone brown to give it a bit of yellow. More fire drake to bring back the yellow, and then no, not more fire drake, more bone brown. I'll get this. I'll get it. Yeah, I'll just definitely get it. You can watch this. It's fine. Okay, so Gilliman flesh all over, bringing up to the fire drake, which unfortunately dried in the meantime, but I'll add a little bit just to bring it down to it, so it'll be fine. I will add some more fire drake to, well, actually, no, I don't need to do that much because the color change on moose, particularly in the back legs, is quite sudden, but I will add some fire drake. Fire drake. Yeah. I will add some fire drake to here just to where it was drying to bring back that little wet blend. So it's not quite so sudden. All right. And then that was the Gilman. Gilman's all covered, perfect. And then we're adding bone brown to give it a little bit of more of a yellow tone rather than just the red tone. So there may be a better color, but that's what I'm doing. So I guess you could just do a 50-50 Gilman to bone brown, but I like the doing it over top one another because that's just what I like to do. Just blending it up top. Good, 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 good. No more touchy. And then spreading out the brown that's on the bottom so it looks more natural. And then we want to add the Garagax sewer to the bottom little tufts on his hooves to make it dark again, just down there. Good. And then we repeat that process over here. So that's Gilliman over top this. Got it all. Gilliman. Got to be careful where we're touching the stuff at the top now because it's basically mostly dried, but I don't accidentally want to pull it off. Don't touch the antlers. Do 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 do. Just all that Gilliman. Gilliman, 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 Gilliman. Gilliman, Gilliman, Gilliman. And you know what? I think I'll just do the other other foot, other leg at the same time. Do do do. So covered in Gilliman. All the way down to his little toes. Covered in Gilliman. Now we want the bone brown over the Gilliman. And I think on the inner sides I'll keep it more Gilliman just to have the shadow look a more cool than the outside part. Gives off a more natural shadow. Might darken it up even further. A little more Gilliman there. And then fire drake over here was a bit too much. Keep mostly Gilliman on the inside. Yeah. And your fire drake mixed. And then we go up here with the darker colors, which are the Garagax sewer and the fire drake to meet our lighter colors a little more naturally, even though the mousse definitely switches colors pretty quickly. in color. A little more fire drake right here. And Gargax sewer right there. And then we take it away because I added a little too much. And now the bottom belly is just going to be Garagax sewer because it's pretty dark on the belly of the moose, I found. So I'm just going full out Garagax sewer to really make some nice contrast between the Garagax. See, that's the fire drake by itself, and then the Garagax sewer. It's just dark. Dark, dark. Maybe it's dark because his belly's still wet from walking through a bog. But I remember the moose spot bellies just being dark. Do you see the darkness? The dark of the Garagax sewer. And then we're just going to emphasize, ooh, a bit too much. And we're just going to emphasize it further by just doing Garagax sewer along all of this area to really bring out the shadow of such a big creature and shadow under his little tail. So Garagax here is just being the shadow color of the fire drake now. So anywhere that you want the shadow to be, it's going to be the Garagax sewer. And yes, I think I'll play around with the legs a little bit more, but we got to wait for that to dry. Can't fool around with it anymore. I went as far as I could. Now we got to wait for it to dry. And otherwise, you're just going to mess up your work. Put the Garagax sewer all the way forward. Now, the face is also a bit light in comparison to the body, but only slightly. So I think we're going to mix Fire Drake um 2 drops of Fire Drake, and then come here, you. Yes, only lightly. So we're going to put a load of Gilman flesh into the 2 drops of Fire Drake and a little bit of the bone brown, just to have a very mildly lighter version of Fire Drake, basically. Now, I guess I didn't really need to do that because of the fact that it's not all lined with hair, it would lighten up naturally anyway. So we're actually going to grab a little bit of Garagax sewer to darken it up. Yeah. Yes, what we're gonna do. And yeah, I'm just gonna completely not bother to not cover the eye at the moment because the eye's gonna be basically black when I'm done. So we're just gonna cover all of this up. And the moose's nose isn't really any different color than the rest of him. Yeah, okay, so that works. Oh wow. I just saw a big blob and I had to fix that. All right, this is the color I'm using. And we're just going to cover up his face. And I don't want to get rid of his details. So we don't really want that much shadow. See its mouth. His very stark where the shadow is laying. It's very stark face. I think we are going to actually add some Garagax sewer to the top here. So we need to darken it down a little bit. But now we're going to leave it. Can't play with it anymore. Just got to leave it as is. Be satisfied with that for now. And in the meantime, might as well get his base done now. Oh my gosh, what happened here? Oh no. Garagax sewer went full tilt down this guy's leg. Okay, we will put Gillen flesh and thin that Garagax sewer down because we can't really get rid of it that well, but we can certainly thin it down because it's just almost drying. So I'm just water doesn't fix it that well that way, so it's on the inside though. We're fine. Okay, it's on the inside. It can be darker on the inside. It's got more shadow there. It's fine. All we have to do is make it in the lighter side. It's good. It's fine. It's fine. I caught it. We're good. Yeah. Good. 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 Gotta be careful. Gravity works. Gotta be careful. Okay. Ta-da! It's a moose. It's a moose. It's a lovely moose. Now, very carefully. Do, 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 do. We are going to put some lovely puddles. The puddles are going to do two things. First, it's going to make it look a little wet in places. And two, it's going to act as the glue for the tips. Blub. Come on. Blub. Blub. These sound effects are necessary for it to work properly. So wherever you are, if you're using this, I want to hear it. Blub. 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 And it works perfectly if it's mixing in with all of these wet colors on there. And just gonna move it just in patches around here for the glue. For the glue, gotta do that glue, 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 glue. Putting on the glue. Now the no bubbles though, can't have bubbles. It's gonna come to me. The flocking, the Gamer's Grass stuff has the Gamer's Grass. My nice expensive brush probably shouldn't have puddles in it for very long. Anyway, the Gamer's Grass stuff has sticking material adhesive to the back of it anyway. Oh, which is great. You get out of the way. You get out of the way. You get out of the way. You scoot yourself up there for a moment so we can open this up. And then with the addition of the puddles, oh, it's super stacked. Look, they have little corsets now. Do you see that? They have corsets. Like this is a flower corset. I don't know why they think I'd like flowers, but I do. These are all the new flowers that they have. Look, do you see how many different varieties of flowers they have? You can, of course, get them individually, but they also have sets now, corsets. And they also have bases that you don't have to do yourself. Or you could do them yourself because they've got resin bases that are either pre-done or not done. And I like the pre-done ones. I'm going to be doing that for my bold action or AK K47, Conflict 47 models. Mariette and I are making Conflict 47 models. I'm going US, she's going Germany for now. Probably also going to do British and Russian because she likes the Ursas. And I like the robots, so we're probably going to do that as well. But here we have dark green shrubs, light green shrubs, dry green shrubs. These are all new shrubs. And it's going to be perfect for my moose. Swamp shrubs, autumn shrubs, strong green shrubs. These are all lovely. They've got so many different varieties. Aliens, very teeny ones, thicker ones, so much variety, and they're a great company to work with. So if you want to get some shrubs, you should check out their site, or you should contact me, because Sword and Steel, the retail business, carries all their stuff as well. Okay. First, I'm going to do these little things. I don't remember what it is, but it's like moss or it's 2mm something. It's really nice. I hope you can see it okay. I hope you have been able to see this entire time. If you haven't, I'm sorry. I'm going to put little sticks. And these come in a variety of shapes, not just round things, but even if it were round, you could just cut it down to your desired size with a hobby knife. But these generally don't come in little. Do it. Yeah. Okay, that was my bad. A little bit of stuff. I think the smaller ones near where I'm gonna leave it empty, and the bigger ones, yeah, right in there. Right in there, so we get some of that swampiness. One of my favorite parts is actually doing the base, because it really brings the miniature to life when he's in a lively environment. Pretty models deserve pretty bases. Okay, maybe that got a little bit too brown. Right, let's go for strong green shrubs. Strong green shrubs. Can you see? If you can see. Can't really adjust it. I hope you can see. Okay. Look at that. Look at that pretty colors. Look at you. Right. That. Get in there. Get in there. He's walking through. He's strutting his stuff through some lovely shrubs. Strutting his stuff. I really like this color actually. This strong green stuff looks great. Strutting his stuff. Don't want to put too much on because going through the swamp. Strutting his stuff. I think one more. Strutting his stuff. These hooves were made for walking. And do these fit well too? One of these days, these hooves are gonna walk all over you. Do these fit? Oh, I like the brown on the bottom. This should fit. How big do I want it? Like, right, like this? These, maybe just a little bit of this one, not too much. Just a little bit. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. One of these days, these hooves are gonna walk all over you. Mm-hmm. Now I feel like a little bit more of these little guys. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. A little bit more. One of these days, these hooves are gonna walk all over you. A little scattered one. I'm liking it. We want to put black around the base. Love. Now I don't know exactly how this gloss is going to look until after it's dry. I've got this ultra matte varnish that works really nicely to instantly matte something up. So anywhere that I don't actually want the wet to be, I'll add that, and I'll probably put some satin varnish all over the plants as well, to really seal them in, since it's not necessarily a modeler who's going to be handling this. So it's all going to have some kind of varnish so that the paint stays. Now, time to get that black. And I'm going to just use that black. Vallejo has really great blacks. And this black is the perfect one. This is just a Mecca Black primer. Oh, well, I was going to try and show off the markers, the AK Play markers as well, but I've already got it out. Next time, because they make it really easy to go along the base. You dry enough for me to handle? I should wait. I mean, I should go get myself a tea, but I already got myself a tea. Still warm. Should wait. Should wait just a little bit, but then I have. Oh, that's fine. It's fine. It's dry enough. We're fine. I'm going to put the black around the base carefully. Carefully. But there is the play markers or the real markers that would probably make this easier, which are markers that AK Interactive made using acrylic paints inside the markers. And yes, it does feel like cheating in the best way possible. And for putting a rim around these bases, if you like to put the black rim, which I do, it does make it super easy. But this Bio Black primer is really good. Is a really good black. So I'm just going to do that, even though I'm probably going to be very quiet while I do it because I'm holding my breath. So I don't have to fix anything. Don't touch the black you just painted. Oh, my hand's too shaky for this. Twist. It's a peaceful silence, right? Not a unfortunate silence. We're at peace. You're painting along with me, right? You have to tell me what you're painting. If you've come all this way and watched this far, then you have got to tell me what it is that you're painting or assembling with me, because you definitely got out your paintbrushes and or your hobby stuff and started painting with me, right? Or are you staring at the screen with your hobby stuff in your hand, not painting, much like much like I would probably be doing if I were watching someone paint? There's something really satisfying about finishing off the black trim around the base. It's like putting a frame around your masterpiece. Mariette put gold around her masterpiece instead of black. Gotta say, it looks super nice and sparkly. Is that my hair? No, it's just a really weirdly long hair from one of the tufts that I'm gonna have to remove. I don't know why it's like that. Hmm. Mm. Might as well put my name on the bottom. Win 55. I mean, that's kind of messy, but all right. Do, 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 do. What do you think? Is he looking? Is he looking from here? Looks good from there, right? Does he look like a proper moose? What about here? Does he look like a proper moose? Moose? No. All right, his eyes. Ah, another reason to have the black. Black, black, black. Okay. Black for his eyes. Oh, missed a spot. Why did I just take black, use it in one spot, and then get it, take it out of my brush again? Because you need it to be super, super fresh for eyes. I don't think I'm going to be able to get doing the eye in this video because it's an eye. So forgive me. There we go. black eye. Black eye. And black eye. Good. Now he's got little black eyes, but we're not done. So I have enough time to do something to make the eyes pop, don't I? I think I do. Okay, you stay there. Don't move. This looks like about right. This is French blue, and it looks like a gray, cloudy day, which is going to be what's in the moose's eyes as the reflection in the moose's eyes. It's gonna, oh, I also need white. I don't really need white, but white-ish. Yeah, okay, hold on. White gray. That'll do. This is just for his eyes. Yep. Just for his eyes. So French blue, white gray for the wee moose eye. Probably can't hold it by that yet. So that, oh, let's see if I can get it in shot. We're going to make it look, hopefully, we're going to make it look like the sky is reflected in his eyes. And I mean, I don't know if I'm going to pull it off, but that's what we're going to try. There's one. Clean it out. Need fresh. And there's two. Did you see it? I don't know if you can see it. And then the white, which is white gray, and we're just gonna mix that in with the gray. Yeah, like 50-50, I guess. No, we need more white. More white. Okay, like 2-to-1. Nope, more 2-to-1 white to gray. That gray is very strong. All right, mix. Take the mix out because we just want to make it a little bit lighter. All right. That worked better. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna just fix that up with that black again because that was a little too much. So we're just gonna shrink down what was done just a little bit. And then shrink this down just a little bit too. There we go. So it's only on the, top part of his eyes. And then I'm just gonna use the puddles just so that we're using more of the same stuff, because why not? A little bit of puddle. Get over there. Because it's so glossy as the gloss on our eye. A little bit more. Well, a good little glossy eye. Because what eyes aren't glossy? Exactly. Now, I went a little bit overboard with the gloss a little bit, so where is my ultra matte? All right, this needs to be shaken. All right, ultra matte. Just on this eyebrow, because I don't want that glossy. I don't want you glossy either. Right, ultra matte. Oh, but I do want, I don't know if it is, but I do want it anyway. I do want the inside of his nostrils to be glossy. Nostrils glossy. Nostrils glossy. And his glossy little lips. Gonna make his lips glossy like he's been eating stuff. Glossy little lips. Num num num. And then this part here, see this shine underneath here, but too shiny, so we take the matte, get rid of that shine. So when it dries, it doesn't look shiny, because that would be unnatural, at least in that area. Then just gonna add a little bit of matte here and there so that not all of this area looks wet completely. Only want it to look partially wet. Wet here and there. So put a mat over it so only some of it looks wet. And and I suppose that I should. Okay, I'm gonna fix his. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna put some fire drake just on his face. Just gonna do a little bit of touch up to his face. Fire drake on his face. It's a moose's face. Important part. Fire drake on his face just to bring it closer to the rest of the color of his fur, because it's all supposed to be the same color, and just because it's got need some medium. That was too much. Okay. Medium and fire drake. Try that. Ugh. Oh, was that not fire drake? I hope that was fire drake. Fire drake. More fire drake. I gotta be careful because this shadow right here, medium, is dark enough, and I don't want it any darker. Did I not wait long enough for it to dry? Should have been long enough. Anyway, the fire drake should just come underneath. Mm. All right, careful, careful. Don't want that part to be any darker. So I'm kind of just glazing the fire drake on. Rather than letting it pool. And a little more in his ear. Just a little bit. Don't make his face too dark. Maybe. A little fire drake just to even out the color a bit in this area. Okay. Oh, more fire drake down at the bottom to make his little hooves look more natural. Just a little bit there. Make it a little bit prettier. All right. Feels like his hooves should be darker. I'm just gonna put the Garagax sewer over the hooves. Just his little sticking out hoof ends. Right. Yeah? Moose? Does he look like a moose? Maybe I'll put a little more Garagax sewer. Just to darken it even further. A little higher up than I did first. Just to give these muscles even more definition, just following my brush along the muscles that I can see there, just to really emphasize it. And underneath here, to add shadow to that big old antler that would be giving off some shadow. And under there, and over here. And yeah, just adding a little more definition to all that musculature with the Garagax. And again, more shadow because of those big antlers blocking out the light. All the way to his eyeball. A little bit further. Yeah, a little bit further on the cheekbone. A little bit further on the cheekbone. Yeah. A little bit further on the cheekbone. A little bit further. Yes. I like that better. A little bit on the nose. A little, oh, maybe I went a little bit crazy on it. Soften. All right, a little bit more here. Oh, this is a bit too much. A little bit more here. Feels like it's supposed to be darker down here, so more down here. More sewer. More sewer down here. Take it off again. Smooth it out a little bit. So it has less of an impact. A little bit of blending. Good, 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 good. A little more up his bum. Bring a little more attention to his cute little tail. Cute little tail. Done. Okay, that's as much as time I can spend on this moose. I think I like him. Okay, maybe just a little bit. Okay, just a little bit, little more ultra matte, just so that that ground looks more natural. Just the wet spots, just a little more natural. A little more natural wet spots, so just a little bit less here. A little bit less here. And, cover up these with varnish a little bit more so that they're not going to go anywhere. And the matte, the mousse will get some not matte varnish, gloss varnish. Not gloss varnish, satin varnish. That's the word I'm looking for, satin varnish. Mousse will get some satin varnish, except for his eyes will get more gloss varnish. And then I'll show you what he looks like after he's all said and done and everything is dry. In the meantime, I want to say thank you to the patrons, the patient patrons, and YouTube members that help this channel keep going. I really appreciate you, and I hope you enjoyed painting with me. And remember to make certain to comment below. And also, how do you like my moose? Is it good? How does he look from over here? Huh? Does he look like a moose? Do you think if you were a dad getting a lovely moose miniature from a son, you would be pleased? I hope so. And that's everything. That's all I wanted to show for you. So like and subscribe. If you're here at the end, you darn well should like this video. It helps me and it helps the channel. So do that for me. And if you haven't subscribed, I'm going to be doing more paint videos, all sorts of paint videos and gaming videos and all of that. So if you enjoyed that, you should subscribe and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye. Wow. I hope you weren't paying attention to the whole mess that my table became. It was a frantic workstation. Uh, 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 uh. Yep. Time to clean up. Okay, bye.